A new adventure begins as Dragon Ball Super Manga chapter number 43 is now officially in the history books, revealing a new ancient enemy that's been around for eons, as right now our heroes are tasked with the challenge of capturing an individual that seemingly enough can grow ever so stronger in power by consuming the life energy of plants, animals, and planets. Being hunted by the Galactic Patrol, we kick off the Galactic Patrol Prisoner Arc Manga chapter number 43 with the introduction of the ancient enemy known as Moro. Which of course, before we begin, if you are a fan of Dragon Ball and anime, then don't forget to punch that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon to always be notified whenever a brand new Dragon Ball video is posted onto this channel, as we kick off Dragon Ball Super Manga chapter number 43, 10 million years into the past, and having to witness an ancient battle involving the South Kaioshin and Dai Kaioshin against Moro. And during this exchange, we see how the Dai Kaioshin is trying to avoid meteorites from crashing on down onto the moon, as both the Dai Kaioshin and Southern Supreme Kai look extremely exhausted. As we see Dai Kaio on his hands and knees trying to catch his breath, the South Kaioshin points up in warning Dai Kaio and stating more incoming. As we look up in the sky, massive meteorites are slamming into their direction, as one of them completely takes out Dai Kaio, with the Southern Supreme Kai having to cry out, "Great Lord of Lords!" And as this massive rock seemed as if it crushed the Dai Kaio, underneath it we see how Dai Kaio is pushing the meteorite off of him and using nothing more than his own power in lifting the meteorite out of the crater as he emerges. And when looking at both of the Kaioshin, they look extremely exhausted, extremely tired, extremely depleted, as Dai Kaio goes on to state, "Phew, that was close," as South Kaioshin responds by stating, "Unbelievable, attacking us with actual comets." As they look out in the distance, we notice Moro having to stand upon a rock, having to use all of the space debris around him as weapons against the Kaioshin. And Moro is a very unknown individual. We don't know where he comes from, we don't know the full extent of his powers, but when looking at what he's doing against the Kaioshin, it's as plain as day that Moro is an individual that possesses abilities and techniques that we haven't seen before. One of which we do see how Moro begins to smile underneath his hood as he extends his hand out at a nearby planet, in concentrating all of his energy on the actual planet, in which on the planet itself we see how all of the energy from the life sources such as animals and plants are beginning to get sucked away. Sort of like a reverse Genki Dama, this individual is collecting the energy from animals, from plants, from all living things including the actual star itself, and using that as a means to get stronger. And we see this as the animals and plants begin to die. Everything that was once on the actual planet is now rendered dead. The entire star itself is no longer alive. Every living thing on the planet had its energy sucked out and being sent directly at Moro, in which he condenses all of the energy in the form of a massive sphere and condensing that small enough to where it fits in his hand. And we notice how the South Supreme Kai cries out, "He destroyed another planet," as Moro condenses the massive ball of energy in the form of something small enough for him to eat. We see how he's holding the energy with his finger, opens his mouth, and swallows the Genki whole. And it's because of this that Moro is beginning to get stronger, as the South Supreme Kai cries out, "He ate it! Is he absorbing the planet's life energy that way?" In which, as a response, when Moro opens up his eyes, a massive surge of energy begins to emit from Moro's body, being sent hurtling towards the Kaioshin's direction and having to destroy everything around them, including the Kaioshin's themselves. And both Dai Kaio and the Southern Supreme Kai are doing everything they can just to simply stay alive. And it's because of this overwhelming surge of energy that the actual moon that they're fighting on as well is beginning to crumble. Dai Kaio and the Southern Supreme Kai seem to be at an overwhelming state, as we see Moro raise his hands up in the air and delivering massive shockwaves on the actual moon itself. As the Southern Supreme Kai goes on to state, "Absurd, I think he's just gotten even stronger," as Dai Kaio cries out, "Damn it, we can't win, going as far as to even acknowledge that Moro had gotten so powerful that not even the Kaioshins themselves have any influence in stopping him. Meanwhile, over out in the distance, the Galactic Patrol are beginning to observe the battle as they have no direct interference in the battle itself, as one of them cries out to state Planet Eater Moro. He's been charged with the destruction of the Iragi star system and bringing about mass extinction on 322 planets. As one of the other officers responds by stating this villain is as mighty as they say. Yes, a terrifying foe indeed. In all honesty, there's nothing we can do. Let's just leave this to the Lord of Lords and keep an eye on things. Agreed. But maybe from a little further away, because they're noticing that Moro's influence is beginning to affect everything around them. While back on the battlefield, Moro finally lands on the moon and extending his hands out and looking like he's about to finish off the Kaioshin. As the Southern Supreme Kai goes on to state, if his power grows any further, we'll be helpless to resist. If only we can do something about his magic. And that's when Daikaio goes on to state, well, it's far too dangerous to teach anyone else, but I've got no choice. I'll use up my god power to seal his magic. As the Southern Supreme Kai responds by stating, huh? Does such a technique even exist? As Daikaio says, well, I created it. I had a feeling it might come in handy one day. As the Daikaio begins to put all of his god energy in the form of one singular blast, and it's pretty cool how he himself even understands that this may not work, but it's the only chance they have at survival. As the Southern Supreme Kai cries out, Great Lord of Lords, you mustn't put so much of your strength into it! As the Daikaio cries out, Kai Mantro! As he fires off the attack, we notice how once it hits Moro, it's GG from there. It hits Moro with such an effect that Moro's magic has been relinquished from his body. We see Moro's eye, his veins are bursting out. This attack was enough to seal Moro away, as the narration goes on to state, and so the Great Lord of Lords gave up most of his godly power in order to seal away Moro's magic. As we bear witness to Moro being imprisoned, the Daikaio goes on to state, you Galactic Police boys better handle it from here. As they agree, the narration continues, unable to fight back, Moro was locked away in the Galactic Prison. As back in the present time, Beerus goes on to explain the story to Goku and Vegeta, as he goes on to state, well, Moro was still a capable fighter even without magic, so if he was sentenced to death, unfortunately, nobody could actually kill him, so he was ensealed given life imprisonment. As Vegeta goes on to respond by stating, and so this Moro is still alive after 10 million years? As Goku says, whoa, this guy is old, so he managed to escape, huh? As Beerus says, correct. It's likely that Moro has regained his magic. So, we require the Great Lord of Lords' power to capture this criminal once again. As Vegeta goes on to state, so what does any of this have to do with Buu? As Beerus goes on to state, 5 million years after Moro's capture, the Great Lord of Lords was absorbed by Majin Buu. And that's when Goku's like, oh yeah, did you know that, Vegeta? And Vegeta's like, no. Well, whatever your plan, it wasn't your stun gun that put Buu down, he was sleeping to start with, right? So it could be days before he reawakens. As the Galactic Patrol go on to state, our only hope is to somehow extract the Great Lord of Lords' ability from within Majin Buu, or so we hope. As we go back inside, we notice how Majin Buu is in fact sleeping, as one of the Galactic Patrol members goes on to state, hello? Rise and shine. As Buu looks on over, he grabs this individual by the neck and flings him directly across the room. As the Galactic Patrol go on to state, what talk about tossing and turning, huh? As Majin Buu wakes up, he has no idea where he is. As Jocko's talking to Goku, Jocko goes on to state, and nothing will wake him up, right? As Goku says, well, that's just the kind of guy he is, right? So no. As Beerus states, well, that's a problem. Still, we haven't really figured out Moro's location yet, so we're on standby. As Goku says, oh, I know. How about we help you catch this guy? As Beerus says, yes, if that's not too much to ask for. As Goku says, we'll be happy to. Sounds fun, right, Vegeta? As Vegeta's like, first they drag us here, and now they ask for a favor? As Beerus says, well, rumors of you two have reached us, so you're actually surprisingly quite powerful. As Goku says, well, I don't know about that, since there are still stronger people out there in the universe, as that is, but we've ran into another Saiyan recently, hinting at Broly, as Beerus says, oh, do tell, as Vegeta talks to himself and stating, this Beerus, I couldn't read his chi, but he's far from weak. He didn't just exploit an opening, he was agile enough to get the drop on us with an instant. That speaks to his skill. So Vegeta is catching on to Beerus and stating he's no ordinary Galactic Patroller here. As Beerus goes on to state, if you come this way, the Galactic King is waiting to hold the induction ceremony. As Goku says, the Galactic King? Who's that? And Jocko's like, you fool! He was there when you fought Universe 6. And Goku's like, oh! The octopus looking guy. And ironically enough, the Galactic King actually says, I'm no octopus. As Goku says, oh yeah, I haven't seen you in a while, I mean, how's it going? And Jocko's like, what are you, old friends? Like, know your place. As the Galactic King says, well, as I've mentioned before, that's not my tentacle. Of course, having a running gag there. As the ceremony commences, the Galactic King goes on to state, ahem. This introduction concerns Son Goku, also known as Kakarot, and Vegeta IV. You two are hereby appointed as special members of the Galactic Patrol. Your tenure lasts until the escaped prisoner Moro is recaptured. You will be immediately dismissed if you are found abusing your authority. Examples of abuse would include cutting in line, claiming relevance to an investigation, flaunting the Galactic Patrol symbol in order to hit on girls, so on and so forth. Of course, another running gag there. And Jocko presents this really wacky suit in stating, hey, look, check it out, Goku, Vegeta, we've got official uniforms just for you guys. Plus, the design's super cool too. As Goku states, well, I don't want to wear that. As Jocko says, what? This uniform is the pride and joy of the Galactic Patrol. As Goku responds by stating, no thanks, looks hard to move around in. As Beerus goes on to ask, well, we won't force you, but the rules do state you need to bear our symbol. As Jocko says, well, letting this once-in-a-lifetime chance pass by, you two are idiots. As they finally draw up their own symbols on Goku and Vegeta's gi, Goku looks down and stating, oh man, this is kind of embarrassing. As Vegeta looks down, he's also like, ugh. As Jocko states, anyway, congratulations on your induction. As your Galactic Patrol superior, I'll be showing you your ropes. First, our victory pose goes like this. And Goku's like, well, can we just skip the poses, please? As they notice an emergency, everyone seems to be running about, as Goku states, wait, what's all the commotion? As Beerus states, what's going on? As one of the Galactic Patrol members goes on to state, Agent Beerus, it seems that the Makara siblings have stolen something again. As Beerus states, again? They never seem to learn. As Goku asks, wait, so who's that? As Jocko explains, they're a bunch of punks who are always out there violating galactic law. Very well. We still have some time, so we'll go there and solve this problem ourselves. As Goku states, what? So, you're going somewhere? As Beerus says, well, pardon me, I'll be back shortly. Just wait here in the meantime. As Vegeta immediately steps in, he goes on to state, I'm going as well. I want to see what you're made of, keeping a very close eye on Beerus. As Goku states, well, okay, well, good thinking, I'll come too. As Beerus states, okay, as you wish. Now, as they get on this actual spaceship, they begin to head out in space, as Goku goes on to state, well, why did you decide to come, Jocko? As Jocko states, well, I'm in charge of overseeing the Earth and its life forms, which means I gotta monitor you two. Meanwhile, on a planet called Planet Jug, we notice how police are chasing these bandits on a train as the police members are crying out, stop in the name of the law! But it looks like these bandits are actually having the upper hand on the cops because we see them with their galactic weapons. They begin to cry out, haha, that was the last of them, big bro. Oh, the mounted forces didn't put much of a fight up this time as they tied up everybody, and this is a running gag because it's your typical theft. We notice how these individuals are trying to steal some treasure, some possessions on this train, and they look up and they notice the galactic space pod having to arrive with Beerus, Goku, and Vegeta having to step out. Now what's really cool about this is how Beerus points out exactly where they're at and what they need to do. As Beerus goes on to state, so, they're after the blue Urim. As Goku states, wait, what's that? As Jocko says, a fuel source for all sorts of machines. Like how on Earth you have, you know, sky, gold, and all that stuff, I guess. And Goku's like, well, is it worth a lot? As Jaco says, well, it's pretty valuable, yeah. I mean, it's really bad if criminals got their hands on it, so we have to stop them. As Beerus touches down on the train, the entire thing begins to turn itself into a wild, Wild West kind of scenario. As Beerus lands, he goes on to look down on the actual blue rocks themselves and stating, stealing a whole train's worth of blue Orum. This is their worst crime yet. As out of nowhere, we notice how one of them shoots directly at Beerus, but Beerus dodges instantaneously. We see how Beerus looks down on the actual blast itself as it's hurtling past his face. So this dude has some pretty impressive dodging skills, if I may say so myself. And as this continues, one of the individuals goes on to state, oh, if it ain't Beerus. It's been too long, friend. As Beerus says, pasta. I'm not punching out today until all three of you are locked up in the Galactic Prison. As Pasta goes on to state, whoa there, that was just me saying hi. I'd never actually go toe-to-toe with you. As Beerus says, so throw away your firearm then. As Pasta says, well, sure, but then he notices an intersection for the train, and he waits. And as this is happening, we notice how he immediately removes something from his weapon as Beerus says, hurry up. And as he throws his weapon up in the sky, Beerus notices this, but Pasta has something in his hand. And as he throws away the gun, Beerus notices that the gun probably was a decoy for something more. And in fact it was. He pulled something from that actual gun that resulted in the gun having to trigger itself somewhat like a grenade in blowing away the actual train cart from Beerus's position next to Pasta. So at this point, not only did the bridge collapse in and of itself, but Pasta kind of mocks Beerus and saying, see ya Beerus, as he thinks this was the last time that Beerus would be on the hunt for him. But surprisingly enough, it looks like on Beerus's shoes, he's able to use somewhat of like these rockets on the bottom of his actual shoes in stopping the actual cart from collapsing from the bridge actually having to fall down. And it's pretty cool because Jaco steps in and we see how Beerus goes on to state, Agent Jaco, requesting for the retrieval of the items. As Jaco swoops on in, Goku goes on to state, well, guess that's how these Galactic Patrol guys fly around. As Vegeta states, wait, Beerus is gone. As Goku and Vegeta are overlooking this, Goku goes on to state, oh, wait, he's already over there, implying that Beerus is so quick that he got from the actual train where it collapsed all the way to the front in deflecting these individuals from further carrying out their plan. Now as this happens, they prevent the train from falling, and what's pretty cool about this is as the bandits get on the spaceship, they go on to laugh and caring about their plan, but then Goku smashes himself on the glass, and everyone's like, what the heck? Who are you? And Goku's like, well, you're not getting away. Surrender. And everyone's like, wait, he's with the Galactic Patrol? Like, what in the world is going on here? So Goku being Goku, he's on the actual glass itself. They're trying to capture these individuals. And as everything goes according to plan, I love how Vegeta begins to overlook Beerus and stating, Beerus. He had already tampered with their spaceship, ensuring that they wouldn't get far. So even if Kakarot hadn't have caught them, then it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Stopping that train took priority because he wanted to save the conductors. So how did he have time to sabotage their ship? Damn it, somehow I missed that, implying that Vegeta is getting very suspicious of Beerus. Now as these criminals are put away, we notice how Vegeta immediately goes on to ask Beerus, you could have saved the day even quicker, couldn't you? You're hiding your power, right? My eyes don't lie. As Beerus says, well, hardly, yes. I wanted their spaceship too, so I let them flounder a bit longer, but hiding my power? No. As Vegeta states, I suppose you aren't capable of capturing this Moro on your own then, right? As Beerus says, well, I'm afraid not. I may be #1 in the Galactic Patrol, but Moro is on another league altogether. As Jaco responds by stating, well, why don't you brag a little while you're at it too, huh? As Beerus goes on to state, Moro's power knows no limits. As Goku asks, what? You mean he's getting stronger and stronger? As Beerus says, yes. So if we don't capture him soon, things will go from bad to worse. As out of nowhere they begin to get a report. As Beerus steps in, he goes on to state a report. From where? A report, speak. As one of the members goes on to state, Kusoya squad was out scouting and they got a lock on Moro's location. which then everybody's surprised, including Goku and Vegeta, as Goku states, wait, it's about time. Which way is that? As Jocko states, well, like in which direction? That way, I mean, I suppose. As Goku says, okay, let me do a search of my own. As Beerus says, passing through sector KT-40, he didn't get far as expected. As Jocko states, what's that mean? As Vegeta states, well, he can maybe sense the criminal's key if he knows where to look. So as Goku is focusing in the blackness of the void, he's trying to pick up on Moro's key, in which by the end, we notice little by little, Goku finally manages to lock on Moro's energy. But surprisingly enough, Goku seems to be alarmed, because the minute we see Moro turn around, he smiles and spots Goku as he's trying to lock onto his key as the manga chapter comes to a close. Very, very ominous stuff. This reminds me already of the Goku Black arc in terms of mystery because we don't know who this individual is. This gives me a satanic kind of vibe, a Kaioshins kind of vibe because this individual seems to already know what Goku's up to before Goku even makes his move to begin with. Now it's implied that Moro is perhaps going to target Goku now, being that he is an energy consumer, but we really don't know how strong he is. But what we do know is that he could get stronger, and I have such high hopes as to what's expected to be shown in the upcoming manga chapter, which again, I highly encourage you guys to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon to always be notified whenever new information and scans are posted. I really enjoyed this, although I feel as if something's up with Beerus, and Vegeta is the only one that seems to understand and recognize that Beerus seems to be a bit off. He seems to be a bit ahead of theft, as we saw with the bandits having to steal said treasure on the train. So Vegeta isn't dumb, but he is playing along. And Moro, for however strong he's going to be, seems to have already acknowledged Goku without even meeting him. So in the end, post your comments in the comment section below, guys. What did you guys think about this? I really enjoyed this, even though I didn't enjoy this as much towards the end as I did in the beginning. I really enjoyed the beginning, and I really enjoyed the last 2 pages of this manga chapter because it gives off a very ominous vibe. There's something off about Beerus that Vegeta is picking up on. So in the end, I would like to get your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. Once more, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing you all down in the comment section, guys. Have a great day, everybody. Peace!
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming and all his social media platforms. Also, don't forget to turn on notifications so you can be the first to know every time that he uploads a new video.
Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god!
The fuck, Zarbon? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes, but Jesus Christ, that's huge!